Euroclear, the custodian of the immobilized Russian assets, has criticized the reparations loan for Ukraine as fragile, unpredictable and risky.
The European Commission imposed a €120 million fine on Elon Musk's platform X on Friday, the first penalty under the Digital Services Act.
Netflix has announced the definitive purchase of Warner Bros. Discovery in a nearly $83 billion deal that includes HBO and HBO Max. Euroclear, the main custodian of immobilized Russian assets, said the European Union's proposal for a reparations loan for Ukraine is fragile and could trigger an exodus of foreign investors away from the Eurozone. The warning came as German Chancellor Friedrich Merz met with Belgian Prime Minister Bart de Wever and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen in Brussels in a bid to unblock the loan. Euroclear is based in Brussels, making Belgium the cardinal vote in the debate on funding Ukraine ahead of a crucial summit on December 18th. Euroclear and Belgium have opposed the plan to channel the immobilized Russian assets into a zero-interest line of credit for Ukraine over fears of retaliation from Russia. De Wever has repeatedly invoked the risks that Euroclear faces and has said he will not be pressured into accepting the plan, which has put him in a minority around the European Council of Leaders, most of whom are favorable to the reparations loan.
The European Commission imposed a €120 million fine on Elon Musk's platform X on Friday, the first penalty under the Digital Services Act. At the center of the probe was the blue checkmark, which previously signaled official accounts, but is now sold for €7 a month, confusing users on account authenticity. X, previously known as Twitter, also failed to meet transparency obligations for advertising, lacking an updated register that could expose users to election-related scams. The Commission criticized X for not providing researchers with data on views and likes as required. The fine breaks down to €45 million for checkmarks, €40 million for researcher data, and €35 million for ads. The fine is well below the maximum 6% of global turnover, unlike previous larger fines on Apple and Meta. 2 other probes into illegal content and algorithms are ongoing. A Cloudflare outage hit websites including Zoom, Canva, Fortnite, League of Legends, and LinkedIn on Friday. The incident lasted under an hour but affected many online services worldwide. Cloudflare reported internal service degradation with errors in its worker script and API. Down detectors showed spikes across the web as users struggled to access sites. This comes just weeks after another major Cloudflare outage, as well as a similar issue that affected Amazon Web Services in October. Experts warn that reliance on a few content delivery networks creates single points of failure for the entire internet.
Netflix has announced the definitive purchase of Warner Bros. Discovery in a nearly $83 billion deal that includes HBO and HBO Max. The announcement comes after a months-long bidding war, with Paramount being the other frontrunner to obtain Warner Bros. The acquisition brings 2 of the industry's biggest players in film and TV under one roof, drastically altering the entertainment landscape. Netflix said the merger would optimize subscription plans for consumers and give them more titles to choose from. Still, the deal will draw significant antitrust scrutiny, with critics warning that consolidation across the industry will mean less variety of content and fewer choices for consumers down the road. The merger could also mean bad news for movie theaters and those who work in them. Cinema United, a trade association that represents more than 30,000 movie screens in the U.S. and another 26,000 screens internationally, said the deal and the streaming business model in general threaten the global theatrical exhibition business.